Okay, guys, welcome to another discussion at the MR.NOLDS organization. Today, we have another special guest. I'll let him introduce himself before I introduce myself, because you guys already know me.
What's up, guys? My name is DeMarcus. Appreciate Erno for having me here. Looking forward to this conversation that we're about to have. Should be pretty good. We're gonna get into some good topics, share some knowledge. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys, my name is Arnold. So today, last week, the topic that was buzzing on social media, can a woman and a man be friends? Do you think a man and a woman can be friends?
So you talking about like non-relationship? Like, let's
just period. Can a man and a woman be friends?
Yeah, this all depends on the person. See, I think the biggest issue with today is that you have people that they speak on such broad and general topics, not understanding that they're given solely based off of their point of view. Mm-hmm. Because I seen one of my boys, he ended up in a relationship with a girl for 5 years, and they started off as friends. Yeah. So that attraction came. But then I have another friend who he's been friends with this girl since like middle school, and he got a girlfriend, and him and the other girl are still friends to this day, and they've never had a problem. Okay. So like that attraction was never there. So it just all depends on like the individual and like how you are. Like you have some dudes that they like, let's say you used to go around and used to like have sex with a whole bunch of women and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. You probably the type of dude that you can't have a friend because like you already been into that temptation, so it's more difficult for you to control yourself. So why would you go let that temptation in, knowing who you are?
Okay, I like your answer, but before I say anything, I want to ask you this. So if you're dating a young lady and she has a male best friend, are you okay with that? It's a yes or no. Are you okay with that?
But see, you can't give her a yes or no. Though.
Okay, but I'm saying, just don't think about it too much. All right. She has a male best friend.
All right, so let me get you this.
No. You see, you trying to.
I'm gonna say yes.
So you're saying yes?
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to hear. Okay, go ahead.
Bet. So this is why I say yes. It all depends on your confidence as a man. If you say no, how confident are you? Because like if she's someone that's interested in you, but she has that friend, right? If she's interested in you, why are you afraid of something happening with somebody she's already in a relationship? I mean, she's already has a friendship with. He's already been there before you. So obviously, if she wanted something with him, she probably would have. Got with him or like tried like whatever.
I think there's a conversation that's been around for a while. And there's different points of views on it. Yeah. And it's like you said, at the end of the day, it's gonna be based on you. Cause it's not a sin, let's just say, for a man and a woman to be friends. Mm-hmm. So if it's not a sin in general, then that means it could happen, and let's just say you're not going against any moral code. Yeah. So can it happen? Definitely. Before dating you, if I know you have a male best friend, that might push me up. Like that might push me away. Off rip. So, of course, I'm gonna find out the level of relationship, because if we're in a relationship, we're dating. I'm supposed to be your best friend.
Hold on. But see,
go ahead.
I like what you're saying though, because here's the key thing why people have complications and relationship problems, because it's all about compatibility. Yeah. And you might be for that, and somebody else may not be. And then you might, and somebody else will be. So it's like, these are the discussions that you have to have before.
And sometimes you don't have to have a discussion.
Wrong what you said.
You don't have to have a discussion sometimes. Because look, before we even date someone, we scout them out. Right. Let's be real. True. If I see 2-3 young ladies, I keep my eye open. I keep my ears open. If I hear like, oh, you got a best friend, if I see it's like a tight relationship, I won't even try to mess with that. Same thing with friends. Because I've been in this predicament before where I was dating a young lady, but her friends was like the total opposites of her. But it's from the beginning, before we was already dating, I should have recognized, okay, this person, because some of her friends, she knew them since middle school. So it would be really hard for me to come in and be like, your friends are really not good for you, and try to get her to disconnect. So me knowing that I'm not comfortable with that is, I should understand that before I even entertain a relationship.
Right.
Because it would not be fair to her and to me when I do get in a relationship. I'm like, yo, cut them friends off.
Right.
Cut that best friend off. Because now it looks like I'm trying to control. Most men are very territorial.
We're jealous. Just like
I don't want to use the word jealous. I want to use the word territorial. Why? Because jealousy is a sin.
You're right.
But territorial, that's not a sin. It's in our nature to be territorial because my woman is my woman.
Right.
To see another man come in even the animals understand that. To the point dogs piss and other animals piss in their territory. So that is something that is instilled in us where it's like, okay, if I'm a man, like my girl and then eventually my wife,
yeah,
I should be the guy, something wrong with you? Tell me. I don't know what to call this. Me and her in an argument, you go tell that best friend, and I got another guy looking at me like,
but
yo.
See, I like how you get into that point because one of the most important topics about this conversation is like, me personally, I just feel like as a man, you don't need a woman friend. And I'm going to tell you why. Because me and my bro was talking about this. When you're in a relationship with someone, right?
Yeah.
You would be causing damage to your relationship.
Yeah.
By going to another woman to see how she feels about how your woman should act.
Yeah.
You should be going to your woman for that.
Yeah.
Because then you start looking for that friend subconsciously to feed you in ways that your woman should be feeding you.
Yeah. A vulnerability. Especially a woman. When you're considered to be a close friend with a woman, like there's some vulnerability, there's some guards that she lets down. And if you've been there for a while, like it can even happen by accident where it's a attachment begin to happen.
Yeah.
Where it's like, man, this guy when this happened to me, he was here. When that happened to me, he was here. And then, because you'll see, like you said, there's some people that they're friends for 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And it's later down the line, you're like, wait, you're really the person for me. That didn't happen overnight. It was like, that. It didn't just happen, it happened overnight because time and time again, because y'all getting closer and closer, a bond is forming, and then that's what happened. And there's nothing wrong with having women associates. Because I can say we can't live without each other. We need each other. But when we say friends, we mean like, because there's some girls I consider my friends, but I talk to them like once in a blue, like maybe once every 3 months, once every 2 months. Like it's not close. So when we're discussing the topic of friends, it's more like that close bond relationship. You guys talk every day. You guys go out with each other. You guys at each other's house. So we don't want to say like, yo, you can't have no like friend like I said any relationship
exactly
with a woman.
Yeah. Go back to what you said. You said how, I'm supposed to be your best friend, right?
Yeah.
And let's go the same way. Like it's not about really best friends, but it's like y'all the ones that's supposed to be communicating. And being to like me personally, I can't see myself being in a relationship and like, cause me and my girl, we laugh all the time that when we together. So I can't imagine myself being with her, like laughing, sharing that bond, and then going to another woman and like kind of having the same thing. Like I mean, like that's just me personally.
Yeah, you can be cool with other girls, but like I said, again, it's your definition of friendship. Because some people may consider someone like that they're not really close with as a friend. But when we say friendship, we mean like you have a deep connection and you have a consistent connection with that female friend. All right, so we're going to take, what do you think about that?
So in my situation, I can give a very like accurate description because I have a close female friend who is just as close as a best friend to me.
But you're not dating right now?
No, I'm not dating. Okay. We've never dated or anything. When I see her, I don't hug her a certain type of way. I don't, if she around her man, I dap up her man before I say hi to her. I feel like there's certain things, especially in that situation, if she got a man and she your best friend or friend, you gotta respect it. And like I said, it's accustomed to my case because I consider her a close friend to me. And how you said like, it's subjective to everyone when it comes to what you consider a friend. When it comes to me and my friends, I don't even see my best male friend every day. I don't talk to him every day, so it's the same thing with her. So I've never run into the issue of where it's just like, oh yeah, I'm talking to her every day. So I feel like when it really just comes down, like I said, to the respect and boundaries, because me as a guy, it's like I don't feel like every girl I talk to, I have to go after her.
And me, I'm not playing with that. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to play with it.
Yeah.
But I think the only way it will work, if you were to have, let's just say, especially if you had if the female had the male best friend, or you had the female best friend before they even got in a relationship, the only way it will work is the boundaries.
Exactly.
You guys will have to know the boundaries. Okay, even if you guys used to talk a certain time at night, you guys can't do that no more. And you have to respect the fact that, well, both of you guys have to respect the fact that you're dating someone. So certain conversation, even if it comes up, one of you guys are like, okay, yo, we gotta leave it here. Like, I think it would not be right at all for, let's say, for her to come to you and talk about him, of like what they got going in a relationship. Just like if you were dating someone, it would not be right, like, you telling her what she got going on. Because at the end of the day, like, girls are girls, and women are women. And one thing I know about women, they're always, well, I don't want to use the hedge word, but they compare themselves to each other a lot. Even though they don't want to admit it, but they're always comparing each other. So sometimes, like, she may see your girlfriend and be like, dang, like, I know she putting them through, like, you know?
Yeah.
And the same thing with the guy. Like, the guy will be like, you know, and if the guy mind is not right, he may think, like, you know what, I could treat her better. I remember a young lady had came to me one time. She was in this situation. She had a guy she was dating, and she had a guy best friend, and she was telling the guy best friend what was happening in the relationship, and that is what caused the guy that she was friends with to like her, because the guy was like, man, I noticed I'm the one who could treat you the best. I know how to treat you. If you're gonna do it, you gotta have strict boundaries.
Very strict boundaries.
I like how you said boundaries, because let's say if you get in a relationship, right? How you already set those boundaries, like with you and her, and you're not even in a relationship. When you get in a relationship, you know you're gonna have those boundaries. But you have other dudes, they can't necessarily set those boundaries because they don't think the way you do.
Exactly.
So I feel like that was what Steve Harvey was saying. He was more like them other dudes, and he know he wouldn't have that self-control.
When you mentioned if she has a girl, or if she has a guy best friend, then that's like a big deal. I've learned that whoever the person befriends, that's who you're gonna deal with later on in the past. Cause like, even if they don't speak on a constant basis, or even they speak in general, it's like you just said, if they have an issue, at some point they're gonna speak to that person at some point. So whatever that person thinks is gonna influence how she decides our relationship at the end of the day. So I feel like it's important knowing who they have friends with, because even if, like he just said, if you try to give them advice and tell them like, yo, these friends aren't looking out for you, whatever the case may be, now you're gonna shift from who the person is to the potential of what happens when they leave it. Because now it's like, at that rate, it's like, oh, will they take your advice, will they not? And if they do, how long does it take for that advice to fully implement their lives?
But we have I want to hear the perspective of a young lady. What do you think? What do you think of this situation? You have no opinion? I think you have no best friend.
The camera already on.
The camera on.
You gotta talk. They can't even.
You gotta give us a word. Just give us a word. What do you think? Honest opinion.
Honestly, I feel as though women are territorial of their own selves. Like when it comes to like dealing with like boys and them having a girl best friend. For me, I personally think it's like.
You're in between?
Yeah, it's in between, because at the same time, they could have been there before you, and then you don't really know about them like that, so it's just like, okay, I understand. And then, honestly, it all comes from, like, also trusting them. If you're capable of trusting a person well enough to know that they're not going to deal with their best friend and stuff. But sometimes in certain situations, it's just like...
Life is always changing, right?
Yeah, it's so difficult, so it's just like... It's hard to deal with the person that has best friend.
All men are not the same, but we have certain habits. We have certain makeup that you can find in most men.
Yeah.
And those makeup, like being territorial, being like how like we're protectors. When you've been, and that one is even more dangerous. Like they've been there before you. So psychologically, there's something like, yo, like, I know her more than you, bro.
I feel like that's the wisest thing. If you see, a girl that have a man best friend, just cut it off like that.
Yeah. But the thing is, when just like how you said, you go and say that, bro, and somebody will try to attack your character.
Oh, definitely. You're controlling
that's the
this.
thing with this generation, bro. Everybody try to attack your character. But people don't realize that everybody's different. And people can't come to the sense that if somebody thinks different from me, then that's perfectly okay.
With everything that you do, I remember somebody told me this like early on when I wanted to first make Focal Productions. They told me that with everything that you do, there's going to be pros and cons. And typically, we always focus on the pros and forget the cons. Remember, what the person told me was, if you can't deal with the cons, don't do it. The certain benefits that you give your girlfriend, your friend should have the same thing.
Yeah.
And certain benefits that your friends have.
Yeah.
So it's like those go hand in hand. You can't, like, if I'm speaking to my girl every single day, if I speak to my friend every single day, there's no difference.
She gonna feel like the same as you. Yeah.
So when you separate, like, I'm talking to her every day, and you understand, like, yo, kid, I got a girl, like, your time reduced by a certain amount, then it's like the separation in power kind of shows, like, yo, okay, your girl has more importance. Your friend still has their importance, but they understand, like, yo, there's a certain thing that you've set aside for your girl, and a certain thing that's set aside for your friend.
Yeah.
That's that.
There's something he said. He used the word, because that's something that we're trying to in this normalize.
Yeah.
You see, there's a lot of things we're trying to normalize, and I see in this age. I've heard something. Wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, I know everybody right now. Everybody want to be free. If everyone's free and we're able to do whatever we want, we're gonna be in a jungle.
Yeah.
There are certain things. It's what it is. Like, and like you said, there are certain things. Like, if you're not willing to deal with the consequences, you shouldn't. The cons. Then don't do it at all, because a lot of people will be like, they'll be quick to say you're insecure, you're judgmental, you're controlling, but then it'll be the same people that they welcome best friends in their relationship, and then they're the ones that end up the girl cheating, or like, yo, like, like
all sorts of problems.
Yeah, all sorts of problems. Yeah. Now, when you normalize things that's not supposed to be normalized, you will face consequences. And you got to be willing to deal with those consequences. Because a lot of times we look at the benefits. Like, imagine, okay, yeah, I want to have a guy best friend. I want to have a girl best friend. But if we normalize this idea, when you're in a relationship, you can have all type of opposite sex as best friend, then I'll be able to keep my best friend. But they don't think about what are the cons that could come with that.